Now to see Jacob.
Alright, part 4.
There's a lot of panicking people in
Chapter
Boston
4,
Plaza. I'm guessing
titled
it's too
A
late to
Friend
get
in
anything from
Need.
Jacob.
This is a
The Baron's
slightly
architect. If
annoying
anyone knows the
chapter,
back door into the
to me
cave,
at least.
it will be the man who built it.
But I think it's a relatively quick one. I think this playthrough I took about 12 minutes or so. Anyways, so here's the upcoming tip for a speedrun. After these boxes, that we will be at the architect's house, and this is the method I use. You can sprint here safely; you won't get noticed. And then you want to hit the thing here and to make the ladder come down. And from here, there's actually 2 ways to go. The way I take right now through this area is the safest way. The other way would be to go through the middle, but there's a crossbow guard patrolling in that area. That way would be faster if you're able to distract the guard and get in without being noticed. But if you want to be safe about it, you can just go through this way, like I do. And I take the pickpocket the earrings just for fun, just because it's just a funny thought seeing that get pickpocket earrings off someone while they're walking around. So for this part, before we enter the secret area to the architect's little hideout, the tip here is to just go out the bookcase like I did right now and drop down. And you want to be kind of quick about this because they will spot you. You want to get the bow out and hit one of those bases to distract them, so they'll be turning in that direction. Now I tried it before without breaking the vase and just picking the bookcase open, but the noise from the bookcase will they'll notice the noise from the bookcase and then they'll turn to face you. And when I tried it, about 80% of the time they catch me, and then I had to start the chapter over. So I just found it safer just to hit the vase. Also in that room there's a bird, so that's the reason I don't swoop when I'm in there.
Admiring the view of his collapsing monuments.
And
I can't leave him alone with his thoughts.
And then the reason, and because I hit the ladder down and break the vase, that's why in this chapter I won't be getting the ghost rating. I'll be getting the opportunist, because those count as opportunist methods.
One way or another, he was going to swing.
So in this room, it's there's a small puzzle. After figuring out the buttons on the frame here, for some reason this frame was a little annoying and took me a while to find the buttons on here, or the switch. Now after this cutscene, you'll see that a model listed comes up, and then the puzzle here is that you have to get the model building in the middle right there to match the actual building.
That's my interest in this expensive toy set.
And the game, Garrett tells you that also, so if you're listening to the audio, he'll say I have to match the building to the actual building. The only tip I have for this area is I just go what you saw in the video. I go to the bottom piece, and then pretty much I just keep turning right on each piece, and then it'll match up, and I think that's the quickest way to do it. So after this cutscene is going to be one of those popular escape scenes and seen in many video games today. This escape scene, to me at least, it felt pretty unneeded. It wasn't really that fun to do it, and it just felt tacked on. But we'll have to suffer through it just so we can finish the chapter. And also, if you play with slowed movement, it seems like a weird scene because it's supposed to be fast-paced and a little tense, but then with slowed movement, all you're doing is swooping around, and once you run out of stamina, you're just like crawling away. and people somehow still miss you. So here, if you do what I did right now, is if I didn't move far enough to the left, you get stuck at a little ledge right there. There's also an NPC that sells you stuff right here, so in case you need to get anything, you can buy it from him here before continuing to the next area. And unfortunately it's burning down, so the first time I ran through here I had a little trouble with the fire, because if you take damage with the mods I have on, you have to start to jump over again. So for here, there's actually a faster way of doing it. For this jump right here on this walkway, for me I fall down, but you can actually make it across, and that's actually a secret area with one piece of loot. And it's easy, it's a little bit faster to jump down from there and onto these pipes with these fire. So you want to be careful with these bursts of fire, because if you take the damage, you have to start the chapter over again with the mods I'm playing on. And it can be a little deceptive with that. You also have to be quick about that, or you get crushed by the thing. And for here, you have to be really quick. If you don't get to the lever, or the valve in time, and get the door open and escape, you actually take damage from the smoke. So if you do it as fast as you can right when you get in there, you should be fine, like I showed you. Otherwise you take damage and then you have to do the chapter all over again, which I had to do a couple times when I first started playing, or when I first went through when I tried to do the 1005 Master Custom difficulty speedrun, the first time I did it. So here's the first of two parts of the elevator ride. The first part is we're going up to rescue our friend from jail, and luckily the elevator ride isn't too long for this one, but the second one will be pretty long. So for here, there's no tips. You just go straight to this lever here. The only thing I have to say is be careful of the fire that you saw on the right. I think one time I accidentally ran too close and I got caught on fire and I had to start the chapter over again. So now is a fun elevator ride to the top. Nothing you can do about this. I don't think there's any way to skip it or reduce the time. You just have to watch this cutscenes or the scene of the building inside. But this elevator ride kind of reminds me of the BioShock submarine down, except this is reversed and it's going up. So for here, there's a weird, there's these mechanical robots just sitting at these desks. I don't know if there's any previous lore regarding them, but I just felt it was kind of weird why they have that at all. So the elevator ride's over. You have to climb out and go in here, and once you get out of these vents, you'll be at the Great Safe. And there's one secret loot here. If you climb up the stairs to the right, you'll find a piece of loot, and then that's also a secret area. I'm just telling you that since I won't be doing it in this playthrough.
I'm gonna need bigger lockpicks.
So you'll have to reset the Great Safe, which you can see me do here. You have to press these two buttons, which is kind of confusing. When I first played this for the first time, I had like no idea what to do here. But I think the developers wanted you to use the focus in order to see that there was buttons to press.
Maybe Basso was right.
So the quickest method to go through here I've been able to find is just to go left straight like I just did, climb up here, and then quickly go down to this corner right here, and then you have to wait for this guard to pass by. You can see me looking at his leg at the corner, and then once he turns around, I'll go by a swoop pass and then go straight to um, straight to the lock here. So I think that's pretty much the quickest way to do it on Ghost and being stealthy about it. Before I went to the right, and that took significantly longer. So if you want to do it quickly, go to your left. So for this, I guess, Aaron cutscene, you have to pick up those poppy flowers, otherwise this part won't trigger. I tested it out and I just ran straight to this door and nothing happened. So you do have to pick up those poppy flowers.
There's pain here.
So for here,
the sick and the dying, I can't block it
I
out
think there's a
anymore.
way
It hurts,
to
Garrett.
make the dialogue shorter, but I haven't been
But
able
underneath
to
all the noise
successfully
lies
do it.
whispers. Follow me, Garrett, and I'll tell
So
you the
for this video, you have to suffer it through. You have to suffer through it like I did, unfortunately.
There's no one to help you up.
No one to hold you back.
These Aaron cutscenes are
Is that
pretty
why you let
boring,
me go, Garrett?
and
Because
at least in my
our
opinion, they don't
family
really
had-
contribute to the story at all either. Maybe if like the
We never
game
did see eye to eye.
had a better development for Aaron
Knows
and
best.
made the I guess the player actually care more about her, this would be more significant. But at least to me, it's just an
I was just
annoying
thinking the same thing about you.
thing we had to push on through.
I'm going to make
It
this
felt more
stop.
like a chore to do than actually
I want to sleep like you did.
play through when we were playing the game.
North,
So for
you wanna
here,
know what happened?
you just have to
Where you
continue
think?
down this hallway.
Come to the asylum.
The only thing I have to
Moira
mention
harbors
is
truth
in
others
order
do
to
not forget.
trigger the event to continue forward, you have to be pressed up against this door right here and peer inside.
You're here to save
The way I do it is I look inside to make sure I see Aaron, and then I turn around. If you turn around too early, there won't be that statue with the stone in there. It'll just be the hallway still. So after that cutscene, after this cutscene, it'll bring us to the end of chapter
I need to
4.
get back to the clock tower and clear my head.
And for the rest of the video, it'll just be me heading towards the beginning of the chapter 5 location, which will be a fun chapter. It's in the asylum, and we'll see plenty of those freaks. So here you can see it's pretty much majority opportunist. Bringing the ladder down and throwing that collect that bottle pretty much made it significantly opportunist rating. So now it's pretty much straightforward to I guess I would consider the furthest point of the map in the city. We have to run down to the south quarter and then run all the way down to the Siren's Rest, and then we had to go to the docks right next door to head towards chapter 5. So unfortunately, since we had to go all the way down the map, there are those guards patrolling the area that we had to get through. So I'll just point out what I do to avoid them. So it's these annoying guards again. Here you can just kind of swoop to the left a little bit and go into this dark area and you should be fine. But it's still a little bit risky since, as you can see, they almost spotted me. So for this part right here, you can just do what I did last time, which was to just sprint past them. I swoop just to make sure that they don't spot me. And then we're going to go to this area. Now I quickly leap over the fence right there. And then here, I move a little bit to the left so I can quickly leap over that window and make sure that that previous guard didn't spot me. So if you've seen part 3, this is where the House of Blossoms location is. So we'll be taking a similar way, except gonna go right instead of left. So here I take this way just so I can go across from the top and not have to bother with the guards on the ground level. You still have to be careful up here just because there's still light, and then if the guards are looking in a particular direction, they can still spot you. So from here I just hop down and go into the Siren's Rest and skip a cutscene and leave and head to chapter 5. In case you need anything, there's also an NPC that sells stuff in here as well. But for chapter 5, the method I use, you won't be needing anything for it. So that's the end of this chapter. I'll see you in the next part.